You will fail. So what? Everybody does. But your gym, your watch, your yoga pants, they pretend you won't. So when you miss a day, eat the pancakes. Give up on a workout? You failed? Seriously, what the hell? We're Body. We've been a part of that too, but not anymore. At Body, we're rejecting perfection and embracing reality. Not in a Pizza Monday kind of way, in a loving your whole life kind of way. In a, this workout is fun and it's okay if I take a week off kind of way. In an, I'm eating healthy and it's okay if I indulge kind of way. In a, I like myself no matter what kind of way. Yeah, you will fail. We all will. But we're not going to let that be the end. You see that? We're already making progress. So let's keep going. We are Body. Start your free trial at body.com. That's BODI.com.
Before Sarah discovered ChumbaCasino.com, she enjoyed chamomile tea.
Come on, big jackpot.
And being in PJs by 6.
Let's go.
The new fun Sarah
Woohoo!
often thinks about the old boring Sarah.
Yes.
And wonders if that Sarah ever really existed.
Chumba Casino has over 100 casino-style games. So join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to a special edition of Beer in Front. I'm your host, Dave Zalatoris, and Beer in Front is a proud member of the Odd Pods Media Network. I talked about it last week. Old Irving Brewing, in collaboration with Omega Yeast, they came out with a new version of their Gold Medal Award-winning Beezer. This has a yeast that takes away the haze from the Hazy IPA. I was intrigued. I picked up a 4-pack of it, and coming up on today's show, I'm going to talk to Matthew Moldenhauer over at Old Irving. We're going to discuss this new project, this new collaboration. If you follow me over on YouTube, you'll see I did a blindfolded side-by-side comparison of the two beers. I'm going to include the audio portion of that a little bit later on in the show after I speak to Matthew. But I will say that both beers were very good, and I'm never going to do a blindfold taste again because I was completely wrong on everything. But both beers, the thing that I was not wrong on, both beers are excellent, and you should pick them up if you're in the Old Irving distribution footprint. Earlier this week, I released an episode with Barry and Abigail over at Pops on Hops. They have a great podcast out of Florida. We discussed some Florida beers, talked about music. So please, wherever you're listening to this now, go back a couple days when you're done with this show and check out that episode because that was really good. Also, summertime, not as many people listen to podcasts because they're doing other things, and I totally get that. But if you haven't listened this summer, I feel that the shows that have come out have been probably my best. I've had a ton of interviews with different breweries, different people in beer and podcasting. So please have a listen to those because I think you're going to enjoy them. Those were really, really good. This summer has been my best as far as I feel my interviewing skills have gotten better. The shows have gotten a lot better. So if you haven't caught up with everything this summer, please go back if you have some spare time and catch some of the earlier episodes from June on. You're going to be bored the next couple of weeks because it's just going to be me. I have no more interviews lined up except for one in a couple of weeks with Go Brewing. They're a non-alcoholic brewery in the suburbs of Chicago. I'm going to talk to them in August, so look for that. But the next couple of weeks is just going to be Dave, and you're going to get the 15, 20-minute quick, fun-size episodes of Beer in Front. If you have an idea for the show, or you know somebody that wants to come on a Jackass in Chicago's podcast and talk about beer, you could get a hold of me, Dave, at beerinfront.com. You could find me on all the social media channels, even the new ones, at Beer in Front. If you're a fan of podcasts, you should check out my friends over at Odd Pods Media. They have shows for whatever you're interested in. So check them out. I'm part of the Odd Pods Media family. They have better shows than mine. I mean, finish my show up. Don't just stop now and skip over to an Odd Pod show. Finish mine up, but when you're done, you could check out other great shows such as Because Fuck You, That's Why, From the Middle, Infectious Groove Music, Super Media Bros, Married with Television, the Beard Ale Podcast, the Muck Podcast, the ever-trending Story, and Grab 'em in the Brisket. Whatever you're interested in, you'll find an Odd Pod show that you're going to enjoy. So please check out an Odd Pods Media show when you're done listening to this one. If you're a longtime listener to the show, you know I'm a huge fan of Old Irving Brewing. They're located at 4419 West Montrose in the city of Chicago. They're teaming up with Omega Yeast, which is just a block or two away, on a new series called Brew Lab. For the first experiment, they took their gold medal award-winning recipe for Beezer. They had the mad scientists over at Omega remove the hazy gene. This results in a hazy IPA that's clear. Joining me on the show again is Matthew Moldenhauer from Old Irving to talk about this. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Dave. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I always like talking to you. Now, I grabbed this Thursday after work, and like the original, it's really good. But how did this collaboration come about?
Well, it's the amazing thing that we've been, as you said, just a couple blocks from Omega, and we've worked with them a few times in the past, especially like when they were first testing out thiolized yeast. If you remember how big that's become in a lot of different areas, really getting that kind of Sauvignon Blanc grape aspects out of the yeast. And Dr. Laura is just brilliant and keeps on getting to really push the boundaries of yeast. And I think brewing has always been, in the last decade, so focused on hops, and even before that, malt, and even to a little bit, lesser extent, water profile, German style pilsners versus Hellas versus Czech style pills. But yeast has a lot of times been forgotten. I think a lot of times the biggest thing that people tend to think about yeast is maybe Belgian yeast versus not, where you get those really big fruity, peppery esters from the Belgian yeast, but not much else. And so I love that Omega is pushing the boundaries, and we actually, our production brewer, Tim, who's also our graphic designer, has had this label and concept kind of in his back pocket for a really long time. And we just thought, especially with them pushing the boundaries on this one and us getting to be one of the first people to use this new yeast of theirs, that we would kind of make this the starting point of Brew Lab 001. And as they get to continue to develop yeast and new aspects of what's going on in brewing, that we can always be there and be good brewing partners to them.
When I poured it, and I knew it was coming out from, I think it was Instagram that I saw the original post. But, I get home from work, I pour it, and it's just like, man, what evil genius is behind this? First, like a week before, you came out with a 12-ounce can, and then a clear IPA. I'm like, my world is turned upside down here.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Even until I finally, we were at Hazy Days of Summer this weekend, and we brought some of the Brew Labs, and I'd had it, and it's still like every time I'm pouring it, I'm like, it's going to come out hazy, right? And it's crazy because we don't centrifuge, which, a lot of times, especially at the beginning of when people were making hazies, that was like how you take out a lot of particulates and everything else. And so this is just the yeast that's coming out and really cleaning it up and turning into what it is.
We talked before we hit record real briefly, like, how I think our mind plays tricks on us with color and appearance, because when I had it on its own, I thought I was picking up like more bitterness, more like associated with the West Coast, but it's not, because it's exactly the same recipe, correct?
Yeah, the only difference is the yeast. It is our Beezer recipe, Citra and Mosaic, and that's it. What's crazy to me is if you're familiar with our kind of our Midwest West Coast IPA with the more bitterness Sentinel, it looks like Sentinel, where you have that like little bit of that amber hue, but it's clear. And it's even crazy how our brewers and myself, I think, where it's going to be really interesting. And I think it's amazing. Like I saw your YouTube video where you did a side-by-side. I hope a lot more people get to do that, because it is just fun to try out something that's, looks completely different, but tastes so similar. But there's a lot of people that you kind of have beer nerds, not beer nerds, people. You have some people that love hazies and some people that hate hazies. And I think you're going to find a lot of people that they'll see this and they'll look at it and they'll go, well, I don't like hazies, but I'll drink that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you like a lot of the flavor components. Sometimes I think just certain aspects turn people off. And some people don't want that milky, creamy color of a hazy. Some people absolutely adore it. And if we can get a couple more people to enjoy our beers, getting to try something new, I love that. And for me, the big thing I think that's really cool in the future is I think how you play with like a pale ale is really interesting, how you can kind of mix the lines and blur the lines and get a really soft, juicy, tropical body. Maybe we can add in some more hops to the boil, have a little bit more of best of both worlds. And I think it allows for a lot more experimentation, even within the IPA pale ale category, which we already know has been explored so much, but with having great partners that keep pushing the boundaries, it allows us to do the same.
Yeah, and it was even weird when I did, the blind taste of both of them. The first one, which was the clear one, the Brew Lab experiment, I would have sworn by mouthfeel it was a hazy, but I was completely wrong. So to me, it was just so weird. Like, I'm going to have to do more just tastings where I don't know what it is and try to judge it that way, because I thought it was just interesting. Like, I would have sworn up and down that was hazy just for mouthfeel, but it's not. All the yeast did was just take away the haze.
Yep. That's why I love double blind tastings. It's why it's amazing to have places like the Great American Beer Fest and other areas where, they're saying you're looking for this style, and you get no other information except for tasting the beer. And what do you get out of it? It's really interesting.
Now, it's only been out, we're recording this on Tuesday, so it came out, I think, last Wednesday. What's the feedback been so far in this short time frame?
I think a lot of people are just kind of amazed. We have a lot of people that obviously know and love Beezer. And so you're getting a lot of people who just want to try. They're like, I don't believe that this is the same thing. And I fall in that same boat. Every time I look at it, it's hard for me to do the same type of thing. And so if anyone has black glasses, tasting glasses, I definitely recommend trying that. It's just a really fun experiment to play with. And so far the feedback's been great. And I hope that Omega and Dr. Laura keeps on putting out new fun yeast for us to play with.
At the brewery, is there anything like you could get like a half a pint of each or a small pour of each? Are people doing a tasting? Are you doing anything like that at the brewery?
We don't have it set up on the menu, but we do tasters of all of our beers.
Yeah.
So you can get a 3-4 ounce, I think it's a 4 ounce pour of each, and then just have them side by side.
Okay.
If you're real nice, talk to our bartenders, Katie or Chris or our GM Josh. Ask them to put a napkin around it so that you can have it a little bit blind.
Yeah. Now, in addition to this, you also came out with the week before one that I love. Now, this was done with a metal band. So this is a different kind of Helles. I thought this was excellent. What got you into this? How did this collaboration come about?
Yeah, well, we actually, this is our second collaboration with them. The first one, I guess, titled Bloodletter, which is the name of the band. We're friends with Pete, one of the lead people there. And the beer that we first did with them, which is a red IPA, which is one of my absolute favorites. But I think all around, this was something that the band, Trevor, the brewers, myself, there was a little bit of everything that people wanted. The band and Trevor really wanted just like a summer crusher, something that you could put down real easy. Reminds Trevor of, kind of those macro style beers, but getting to do something a little bit different. For us, this was also our first adjuncted lager. We used a little bit of flake corn.
Okay.
And then this was also our first time that we ever tried a 12-ounce can. And so Tim, our production lead, he had to readjust all of our canning line, and, fingers crossed, we're like, we're not going to lose barrels of beer just trying to adjust a canning line. And that went pretty swimmingly. And then for me, this was really exciting. We didn't really put any into distro because we weren't sure 12-ounce cans were going to even work. So we didn't want to promise it to people and then not have any. And then we just wanted to see how fast people would really take to a 12-ounce can at the brew pub for us. And it's going really well. And so as we're doing this, kind of right before we're opening up our new production facility, I think it gives us a little bit more mindfulness of what we can do and what we might be able to do in the future, whether that's, 6 packs of, some of our core, whether that's 12 packs, mixed packs, 19.2s. I think this gives us a lot of courage to try a couple new things.
I had it and I thought it was probably the lager of the summer. There's been so many great breweries putting out good, like you mentioned, crushable lagers, and there's just been a ton of them this summer. But that one, if it's not my favorite, it's right at the top. I thought that was absolutely killer, and keep those coming.
Well, thank you. That's very humbling. I love to hear that. Hopefully speaking on behalf of Trevor and the brewery, is just like, we love being able to keep doing what we love doing. And anytime that, other people can enjoy what we're doing as well, it warms our heart.
I think most people, like, if you're not like a beer geek, would associate Old Irving with IPAs and hazies, and rightfully so, because Beezer's a huge seller, won a gold medal for the first hazy category. But between this and you've won another medal for Della in the Kolsch category, you're not a one-trick pony. Your sour series is great. Your barrel series is second to none. What other tricks do you have up your sleeve? Are you coming out with any new styles once the new facility opens?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a couple things. One is that our brew pub, once we get caught up being able to kind of meet demand of the different aspects, as you said, like, our sour series is one of our fastest growing series. It's been really hard to keep up with. And we've had a lot of patience with a lot of our accounts as we switch flavors, kind of seasonally, having a little bit of out of stocks. Actually, coming this August, we have a lot of old time beers that are coming back that we haven't had a long time, that we do once a year. And we also have a brand new triple hazy Teddy Bear Apocalypse that's going to be on its way. We're also going to have our Oktoberfest coming out soon. We weren't one of the people jumping in June or July.
Yeah.
Our Oktoberfest comes out mid-August. It's one of our favorites. It's been sitting in tanks for 3 months. We're getting ready for that. Next week, we'll have our Till Death German-style Pilsner. One of my personal favorites. It was made for Trevor and Amanda's wedding anniversary. Well, wedding, and now it's wedding anniversary. And so we keep bringing that back. And then Doji is coming back. And that's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, that was excellent.
And I'm really excited for that. That one made it really far into the World Beer Cup and got really good reception. Obviously, didn't take an award there, but we're submitting that one to GABF as well. And so we're hoping that we have a couple new things coming down that will really excite people. And then we'll also have a really small batch sour that we're doing with Mikos Italian Ice.
Awesome.
So we're really excited for kind of this Italian Ice sour that will be coming down the line. And then early fall, we'll be bringing back Cinnamon Prost, which is one of my personal favorites. That white stout, Saigon cinnamon, Madagascar vanilla, just really beautiful. And if we have a little bit more space, which I hope we will, with the new place opening. I'm hoping that we do a couple variants on the cinnamon prost as well.
All right, awesome. Well, you have a collaboration with a yeast company and a metal band. When's the collaboration with a podcast coming out?
I don't know. That's once we get hopefully through the end of the year and we can finally catch up on things, then we'll be able to have a couple more fun things coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that the Helles, the different kind of Helles, is not in distro yet. Is the Brew Labs going to be available in the distribution market, or is that a tap room only?
In cans, cases only. There was a very small amount that went out. It's Tuesday now.
Yeah.
Probably already all of them gone from our distributor. I know I allocated some pre-sold, some to some places. So you'll see it popping up at a lot of your craft beer stores, a couple of the binnies. But yeah, there's about 40, 50 cases that will be outside in the Chicagoland area because we wanted people besides just at the brew pub to be able to kind of experience what I like to call crystal beezer.
Yeah. Is there another Brew Lab series that's in the works, or are you just waiting for what the good doctor comes up with?
A little bit of waiting on the good doctor. Trevor and Lance and Dr. Laura, and they're always in communication on what they're playing with and what they're doing. We actually were very lucky as well that we have great relationships. Our new brewer at the brew pub, Max, actually was one of Omega Yeast brewers.
Okay.
And so he's over at our brew pub now, and he has a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge and still has great relationships with them. And so it's just always an ongoing aspect of what really intrigues them and what's going on. For us, I think it's always a little bit of having to be patient. I always want to see what the new hop is, what the new yeast is. And sometimes, it takes 10 to 20 years for the development of a new hop. The hot HBC 586 that's been around, that's been a hop that's taken over a decade to really develop and grow and kind of get to this commercial area. And so we are lucky that we get to be on the forefront a lot of these aspects with Dr. Laura. But there's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
For every really fun thing that they get to bring to us to test, there's a lot more that they're just doing as experiments.
Yeah. Well, Matthew, I appreciate you taking time out this morning. It's early in the morning as we're recording this, so I'm going to let you get going. But once again, Old Irving, they're at 4419 West Montrose. You need to head over there. Not only is the beer great, the food is killer. Get the cheese curds and thank me later. But Matthew, thank you again for coming on. This was a lot of fun, and I'm sure I'll see you at the brewery soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome back. You're saying to yourself, Dave, what's with the orange do-rag around your neck? I got a treat for you today. Old Irving. This is their Gold Medal Award-winning Beezer. This won for Hazy IPA category a couple years back. They've come out with a new beer, exact same recipe, but they used a different yeast in collaboration with Omega Yeast. This removes the haze from the Hazy IPA. Exact same recipe, the yeast is a little bit different, so in a few minutes, I'm going to put this blindfold over my eyes and have them both and see if I could tell the difference. So stay tuned. Both of these beers check in at 7.9%. They use Citra and Mosaic hops. Now on the new Brew Lab series, if you could see it there with Omega Yeast, they have something that they did, removes the haziness, some gene in the yeast, some voodoo, sorcery magic that they came up with. This is the first in a series of Brew Lab experiments. This just came out a couple days ago. I picked it up on my way home from work the other day. I'm excited to have it side by side. I had this on Thursday when I picked it up. I thought it was great, but I said to myself, you should have the original and see if you can tell the difference. I'm going to have Ruby crack these open, pour them, and I'm going to discuss on the video if I could tell the difference or the difference between the two. And I'm going to put this ridiculous orange do-rag over my face and be blindfolded. That's coming up. All right, so I'm going to try. This could go south in a hurry because I'm probably going to knock shit over. But I have the first one in my hand. I don't know which one is which. I'll see if I can tell the difference. This smells really good. I get a nice aroma here from the Mosaic and the Citra hops. I can't tell you the color if there's good carbonation because I can't see. The taste is really good. Very hazy. And I'm totally guessing here, and I can't see shit. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say this is the OG Beezer. Based on mouthfeel, it feels more like a hazy. I mean, it's a really good beer. All right, I got to set this down here and pray for me that I don't knock one over because Ruby will kill me. All right, I think I have the other one in my hand. So here's the other one. I don't get as much from the aroma on this one as I did from the first. I think if I had to pick, I think this one tastes a little bit better, but I couldn't tell you if this is hazy or not. Like I would have swore the first one would have been the hazy on the mouthfeel, but tasting this, I don't taste the difference. I think I'm getting a little more bitterness at the back with this, which would make me believe, and this is, I'm just totally making this shit up as I talk, but this would taste more like a West Coast to me, so I'm going to guess this is the clear. But now I'm dying to find out. I look like the guy from Loverboy or something. That was the hazy, so fuck all of this. I was totally wrong on everything. What do I know? But this tastes really good. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't get as much aroma from the second one as I did from the first. Like, I get a lot more aroma from this. And, I mean, they're both great beers. That's really good. If I didn't have the glasses framed properly, I couldn't see. So, look at the nice Beard Ale podcast and the beer in front glass. I don't know if I could tell you which one I like more if I do. And a lot of it's probably just visual and what you think based on what you're appearing or how it looks. The original one, rock solid. It's won gold medal, so don't listen to me. Listen to judges. But that's really good too. I don't know, now that I'm looking at them side by side, I could tell the difference in taste. When I was blindfolded, I thought this tasted a little bit better, and I thought there was more bitterness at the back and was a West Coast, so what the hell do I know? But they're both really good beers. You could pick them up at Old Irving. The Brew Lab series, I don't know if it's going to be distributed, so you could grab it on draft or at the brewery. Beezer you could get everywhere in the city. You could get it at Jewel even. So when you see anything from Old Irving, Beezer, if you're in the neighborhood, stop by and pick up Brew Lab Series 1. Both of them, put it in the cart, and I don't think I'm ever going to wear a blindfold again. Thanks for watching. All right, the beer I'm going to talk about now is from Old Irving. This is a collaboration with the metal band Bloodletter. This is a different kind of Helles. It's a light lager at 4.8%, and it's in a 12-ounce can. So let's crack this open and have a different kind of Helles. Different kind of Helles is a really nice, light golden color. There was a lot of carbonation here, a lot of foam. It smells terrific. I mean, this absolutely smells fantastic. That's just really good. Get the nice malt taste up front. Very little bitterness at the back. This is something you could definitely have more than one of. A lot of flavor in this 12-ounce can. I'm not used to having an OIB beer in a 12-ounce can, but this packs a lot of flavor. It's really good. OIB is known for Beezer. They're known for their hazy IPAs, their IPAs, but don't sleep on their lagers. This one is great, just like Della, which is an award-winning beer in itself. So OIB is not just a hazy IPA brewery. This is terrific. If you see this one, by all means, put it in the cart. This is a different kind of Helles. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this week's special edition of Beer in Front. I thank you for listening. I need to thank again Matthew Moldenhauer over at Old Irving. That was a lot of fun talking with him. Please, if you're in the area or if you're in their distribution footprint, pick up the Brew Lab Series 1 and don't forget to get a different kind of Helles. I'm taking next week off, going to recharge the batteries a little bit. I will see you in 2 weeks on Beer in Front. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. All right, have a good couple of weeks. I will see you in 2.